People are gonna hate me for this. However, it has to be said. If a banana is indicative in the fruit world as a penis, what's a banana split? It's a vagina. Yes, it is. And I already know Kathleen is going to be like, I'm going to turn off my computer right now. Don't do it. Don't do it, because I've made up a word. I've made up my word, and if a banana is a penis, and a vagina is a banana split, it's crack, I know, then there's a word for this, that when you're referencing a banana split vagina, or a banana vagina, there's a word for this that I have shortened into a nice condensed version so you can just reference it in everyday life. You know what that word is? Vagina. Yes? 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 Okay. Happy Tuesday. Yeah, today I wanted to do a really positive video, and that's what I think I'm going to do. But first I'm going to take care of some of the housekeeping things that need to be taken care of, such as Kathleen's shoes. You know, Kathleen, there are some things that I want you to do with your shoes that I don't think are possible just because we're all poor. But I think that in the grand scheme of things, if you were to do anything with your shoes, I think you should get them bronzed. Now, don't judge me. No, no. But I think you should get them bronzed, and then you can hang them on your wall, and they can be like bottle openers. So continue their usefulness through their lives. But in the context of us being cheap and poor, I think what you should do is you should put them back into the earth, bring them back to nature. So basically, get a couple of those like little tree lings, those little sapling guys, and plant one per shoe and put it in the woods somewhere or wherever you need a tree, and just plant the tree in the shoe to give it back to the environment. And that's what I think you should do. Auditions are still open, so we've got our week of people. But if you're slow and you suck or you didn't have enough time to do it last week, get your audition in. I mean, it's not a tough thing to do. It's just talking to your computer, and it seems a little bit embarrassing at first, and it kind of is. However, it's just a good introduction, all things considered, to the YouTube world, and putting yourself out there in a way that you never would have thought to do before, and it's just a lot of fun to do. Give that a shot, please. I think that would be kind of nice. Sarah, I'm not going to say I didn't giggle like giggling people at your video when you ate the banana and pickle. Because I did. And I feel bad because I know you don't like pickles, but it was awesome, and I'm really sorry about your fish. Your fish. I can't even say it. But, to make you feel a little bit better, every fish I've ever kept has only lived like less than a month before they got some sort of terminal disease or died somehow, and I just don't think I can keep fish. I mean, I have cats, they're okay, I can keep cats, they're fine, but I can't keep fish, so I congratulate you for keeping fish for as long as you did. Okay, so I'm gonna get to kind of like the serious part of my video now, because I know, and I'm probably gonna go over my time limit, I think I already have, but, I had a really bad day yesterday, and I think a lot of us kind of had a really bad day yesterday, and I thought, well, let's do a positive video. And I mean, I've been wanting to do this for a little while now, so it's kind of nice to finally be able to do it, and maybe hopefully get some kind of positive reaction out of it too. But what I've been experiencing lately is this kind of identity crisis, and not in a, like, a crazy, well, generally always crazy, but not in a really crazy way, but looking back at my past self and looking at my future self, I'm just seeing such a big leap forward. I suppose it's forward. I don't really know. It really depends on the context. Looking at my past self and then comparing it to the person I am now, and it's just really strange and odd and interesting, and I I keep thinking, well, these are some really positive changes that I have made, and when you're living your life, you don't really stop and look back and see what you've accomplished or what you've done or how you've changed until you find something. Like in this case for me, it was a piece of writing I did a couple years ago. And there. um I came across it and I thought to myself, wow, I'm like a completely different person now. And I guess I can leave you the piece of writing, I guess, in the comments. It's not very long if you wanted to read it. I don't know if you do or not, so I'm not going to say it. But it brought to the forefront some stuff that I've really changed about myself. And I mean, it's kind of like an identity crisis. I've got new changes in music that I like and dislikes that I may not have disliked before and stuff like that. And it's interesting to go back and just compare myself to my younger years. Different thoughts on creativity and love, and it's new and terrifying, and I don't know. Personally, when I look back on my younger self, I see someone who was super self-conscious, and I mean, I am still self-conscious now, but it's a different kind of self-conscious. Like, before, I would look at myself in a group of people, and I would probably be the biggest or ugliest one there. And I'd think to myself, why am I even here? I'm just pulling them down because people aren't going to want to talk to the people I'm hanging out with because I'm here. And that's just the way I thought. That was common sense for me. That was common knowledge, and I didn't want to live like that anymore. And honestly, I did some things that, um, really, I think stunted my growth, personally, just because I was so self-conscious of myself and I was so embarrassed and ashamed to go out and see the world and go to different parties and just put myself out there because I felt, embarrassed. And now, after a couple years of having graduated high school and some of the changes that I've been through, like I lost some weight and stuff, but it's a completely different thing. Maybe I'm just stating the obvious. How people grow and change and evolve and have different viewpoints on the world and read different things and write different things. And as an artist, I can go back and I have a relatively concrete history of all these things that I've done in the past and how my art and my writing have evolved into this different android of what it was back when I was a kid. And I know not everyone has that, but I think in some ways everyone has memories of themselves in the past and how much different they are. And you don't really step outside yourself very often to look at that. And I think it's just a really special thing to do every once in a while just to evaluate yourself and how you're doing in life. It's terrifying, actually, to see how much you've changed because you, generally people are selfish and they want to keep themselves to themselves, and at the same time they have to grow up and evolve and change too, and it's amazing, but it's weird. I think it's a really positive thing. I'm more willing right now to accept things that I never was before, like handouts. If someone wants to buy me a drink, I'll let them buy me a drink. I still have my pride, obviously, but I'm more I'm more likely to accept help and advice and loss. Actually, loss is a big one. I'm more willing to accept things and know that things are going to change in my life. And it's just stupid little things that have made me more confident, and I feel it's made me into a better person, but at the same time, I want to hold on to that person that I was all the way back when I had this understanding of life that I don't necessarily have now. So, I guess I'm not saying this very eloquently. What I'm trying to say is if you look back at yourself, like, 3 years ago, 3, 4, 5 years ago, I don't care. Look back at yourself and just think about ways that you've changed positively, or ways that you've evolved. And I think you'll find that it's encouraging. It's encouraging to see the growth that you've made, and it's also sort of terrifying. But, because so many different things in your point of view change, and it's just weird. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about how everyone kind of evolves at their own pace, and how everyone, when they look back at themselves, you can either feel you can feel pride, but you can also feel some sort of loss. And I think that's the human condition right there, is just the way we grow and the way we learn and how accepting we are of these changes. And I think that that's such a positive thing in our lives. And I'm a pessimist for sure. I'm not a very positive person, but in stepping back and recognizing and seeing that, I can see a very positive link between them, and I really just wanted to get that out there.